Welcome to the Gen X Journey podcast. Dive into all things important to Gen Xers, from advice on aging parents, expert interviews, product reviews, and heartfelt conversations. So put down the joystick, grab your Walkman, dust off your old yearbooks, and welcome to the Gen X Journey.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gen X Journey podcast. This is Steve. I'm back with my good friends Nolan Keith. How's it going, guys?
We're ready for a good rundown.
Yes. So hope everybody finished off the last of the Halloween candy, and if you have any, it's the good stuff, the stuff you want to eat, not the junk that's left over. But the good news about Halloween being in the rearview mirror is that we got the holiday season fast ahead of us. Thanksgiving just around the corner, and then the best part is Christmas.
Absolutely.
And so to our listeners, you might say, hey, look, this is a little premature. Why are you doing this already? But it's time to start thinking about gift giving. Mm-hmm. And so today we're going to talk about Christmas gift ideas for Gen Xers. And this list that we're going to follow is from a website called trendhunter.com, Trend, hunter.com. And some really cool gift ideas in here. So we're not going to talk about all 50 of them, but we are going to talk about some of the ones that interest us the most. So especially if our wives happen to listen to this episode, which I know mine will, this one only, to make sure that she knows what to buy me for Christmas this year. So
I love it.
It's totally selfish intentions. So Keith, have you picked one out on this list yet?
I have, and it's hilarious that I'm going to start with this one, but we, my wife and I went to Costco a couple of months ago, and we picked up this reversible cooling blanket, right? And so on this list at number 41 is a cooling weighted blanket. And I'm telling you, so we went out of town and couple of weeks ago and had my mother-in-law and one of her best friends, they came and just kind of house sat our puppies and stuff like this. Well, they are like on a search for a cooling blanket now that they've used ours. And so that's going to be one of the gifts that I'm sure is going to be under the Christmas tree for a couple of our family members, is a good weighted cooling blanket. So I like that idea.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Noel, what about you?
So one of the ones on this list that grabbed my attention because I'm a gamer, is it's anniversary celebrating retro games. So it's called Atari XP, and it allows users to like revisit games from the 1980s. So Atari actually turns 50 this year, which is
wild. Jeez.
Crazy. I incidentally turned 50 this year too. So I know it was launched in 1974. So there you go.
There you go.
Anyway, but yeah, they've got like the 80s arcade games like Missile Command, Adventure. The games work in the Atari 2600 console, Yard's Revenge.
Missile
game. I mean, you guys, what was some of y'all's, did y'all have like an Atari game that you always had to play whenever you turn it on? I had so many.
Yeah. Which one?
Pitfall.
Yes. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Pitfall is great. I actually liked River Raid. Did y'all ever play River Raid? That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yard's Revenge was always up there though. I loved Yard's Revenge. That was a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Pac-Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember how poor, so they corrected themselves with Miss Pac-Man, but I remember everybody was so excited about Pac-Man, and it looked so terrible on the 2600. It was embarrassing. I remember that so bad. It was bad. It was horrible.
Yep.
So, anyway.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
Steve, what about you, bud?
Yeah, so I'm intrigued by this idea. Not exactly what they're presenting, but the notorious BIG virtual reality concert experience. Now, Keith and I were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, and I love the idea of it. While I'm not necessarily a huge Notorious B.I.G. fan, the fact that we can recreate these concert experiences is amazing to me. Imagine the ability to be able to see Prince.
Oh, wow.
For virtual reality, or Tom Petty one more time, or just some of the many artists that we've lost that just part of the soundtrack of our lives, to be able to have that concert experience, Queen, just so forth. So I'm very intrigued by the idea. I think it's super cool.
as this whole advanced AI starts getting better and better, these things are going to get better and better along with them. So pretty impressive. Yeah, that would be a really cool thing to see. Really
Yep.
cool.
Keith, what
Yeah.
else you got?
So there's a lot on this list that I think are pretty good, and so I will talk about one because I'm going to do a product review on one of these soon. So we're looking at low power e-ink tablets. So I own and I'm going to review a product called a Remarkable that I use every day of my life at work. It's one of my favorite tools. Basically, it's a low power solution of a writing tablet. It feels like you're writing on paper, but it allows you to kind of organize your thoughts within one compact little tablet looking thing. It's not like an iPad. It's totally different. But so there's a lot of e-ink tablets on the market right now. I would love, there's a couple of people that I think could really use them in my work social circles, and have really commented on mine. So I probably will look at a couple of options of those. So the e-ink tablets, something to look into, something new, and getting to be more and more of them out there because it's getting more and more popular. So that's what I would probably pick next.
Yeah, very cool.
Nice. One that I saw on the list was it's a supplement for people that like to have a drink every once in a while. So to help people that are drinking, to kind of restore some of the things that are taken out of your body whenever you've maybe had a couple. So it's a dietary supplement they can take that includes like niacin and choline, magnesium, zinc, and a range of B vitamins, which all those are lost whenever alcohol is metabolized. And so it's intended to like help a person's body maintain healthy liver function and regulate sleep and manage their metabolism, amongst other things. So I thought it was actually a pretty good idea. It's called Cheers Multi Supplement. So I thought it was
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
What about you, Steve?
So I thought this one's pretty cool. It's called a vertical space saving record player. And so it has a small footprint. So, a typical turntable is a square, large square. And this one actually is looks like the size of a old alarm clock, and it has a vintage look to it. But the record player actually stands up.
That's
and,
cool.
And spins the records for like a clock.
Yeah, I see this.
So
that's awesome.
I don't have a need for it, but it's one of those things that have a tendency to like unique items, and especially if they have a little bit of a vintage look to it. So
yeah,
I'm very, very intrigued about this one.
Well, and you've been looking at record players for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
and I did.
Yeah,
I
we've
did
discussed this for years.
Yeah, I did get an Audio Technica one, and I'm sort of satisfied with it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's all about the equipment you have attached to it to make it truly a great sound. And
good amp.
I have a great records selection now. I mean, I probably got 200 records now.
Whoa,
and,
really?
Wow,
yeah,
dang, dude.
And so, I want it'd be fun to have something unique like this to play those records on.
Absolutely, that's a really cool looking piece, and like I say, as we're going through this, I'm sure as you're watching this, if you're listening to this audio podcast, please turn to our YouTube channel because we're going to be putting some of these pictures of some of these items up on our YouTube channel, so for sure.
Yeah,
very cool. Keith.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about one on this list, but I'm also gonna kind of call an audible. So I love coffee. It's one of my favorite things. Even in the morning, I just love to have a good cup of coffee. And so one of the things that's on this, and I'm going to talk about the one specifically on this, but one that I actually liked better that I received a couple of years ago that I would like to share is they have a specialty coffee advent calendar. So basically, it's 12 mornings of coffee that's expertly curated. It basically just different varieties of coffee, and like the advent calendar, you kind of open one over the 12 days before Christmas. Some advent calendars are all month, but this is, I guess, celebrating countdown of 12 days of Christmas or whatnot. And so you get a different type of coffee every day up until the Christmas morning. I love that idea, but I'll tell you, my office manager at work gave me what's called a company called Atlas Coffee, and it was basically 6 months of a full bag of coffee from different countries around the world. And what was really cool about it is I got this full bag of coffee, and they were all mom and pop coffee companies that were in different countries. And there was one from Colombia. There was one from, I think there was even one from Ukraine, all sorts of different places that were, that had this coffee. And not only did they have a postcard that talked about the type of coffee, where it was grown, but they had like a pictures of the actual factory and the workers that were doing it, and just told the story about the company that created the coffee, along with having a full thing of coffee. And I loved it. I mean, I was ready every month that came. I was excited for the next one to come. One of the few presents that I have truly looked forward to every month. Like I hurry up. I can't wait for it to get here. So it was really cool. So that's something that, like I say, the Advent calendar is great, but if it were me, I would probably punt and do the one that's from Atlas, because it was wonderful.
Yeah. I remember that well, and Robin actually gifted that to me for 6 months as well.
That's right. Yeah, I remember we talked about it.
And I was sort of sad when it was done.
Yeah,
and,
I was too. It's like, my birthday's in June. That's 6 months out, right? You can keep the gift going
all year long.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Noel? What's another one on your list?
I mean, I'm thinking it's my second video game thing, but it's what I like. So, the do-it-yourself arcade game kits. Y'all have seen these before?
No.
Like there's these kits that you can buy where you can actually build your own like stand-up arcade game, and it comes with basically all the equipment that you need to like build your own arcade game. So. Me being a computer guy and liking video games and stuff too, this seems like a fun like little hobby project type thing to build. And then once you're done with your project, you've got a stand-up video game that's got a whole bunch of different games on it that you can select and go play and be sort of like have your own little arcade there. So I thought that was cool. Sounds pretty cool to me.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. That's really neat. I love games too. There was a lot of gaming style themes on this list that I was like, okay, I could do that.
Yep.
Pretty cool. What about you, Steve? What else caught your eye?
Along that same line as, I don't know if y'all saw this in the list, but it's called Funny Plane, showcased. It's made by Funny Plane, and it's a retro pixel pocket console. Looks just like the Nintendo Game Boy.
Oh yeah,
we all had, and so it has custom modifications, different cases, so forth, and different things you can do to this. But very similar button layout to the Game Boy. It's, to me, it's a super cool looking thing. I think it's powered by Raspberry Pi, I think. Technology is what screen is.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
I might have that wrong. Actually, I think it is. Yep. So anyway, so a cool thing. It was always a fight in our house as a kids to see who could play with the game. It was my brothers, but I expected to get some time on it, and I never got the time on it I wanted. My mom usually would steal it, play more than we would. But so it'd be fun to bring these back and play with the nephews and all that good stuff.
I remember when my mom got addicted to Miss Pac-Man. She was in that back room. I mean, I don't even know how late she was up that night. It was really funny.
My dad got hooked to it one time, and he forgot to pick up his kids at school one day.
Oh, wow.
So we were out there like standing there. We were the last ones. Like the principal was leaving. It was like a Friday afternoon, and I mean, the principal's like, "Y'all need a ride or anything?" We're like, "No, my dad's coming." And like finally, like he comes tearing around the block.
Oh man!
And he was like, "I'm sorry, I was playing video games, and I just totally forgot what time."
That is hilarious.
Anyway.
Oh, well, I'm going to throw one out there that it's something that we've talked about before, and I wish that it was a real thing, if I'm being honest. But it's basically a Cereal Squad toys, and basically they're old small cereal boxes, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, Tricks, and those, and they're able to collect the characters that are the characters of each cereal. So Buzz the Bee, the Cinnamojis, Lucky the Leprechaun, Sunny the Cuckoo Bird, Tricks the Rabbit, and all those folks. So all of them, I guess, are inside these cereal boxes. So kind of a fun little, I would call these more than a gift, like a fun stocking stuffer, or maybe even a white elephant gift or something like that. So, we try to do some fun little games at Christmas too, that might be more, less serious than the good stuff. So I could see these kind of playing a good role in that. So that would probably be one of the ones that I would do there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. One for me is the old Casio watches, like the modern. They're releasing like the modernized Casio watches.
Oh wow.
I don't know if including like the diver watches, like the G-Shock Master and G-Frogman and stuff like that, like the old Casio. And then there was one, I don't know if you guys had, I think every kid in my class back in the day had the old Casio with like, I can't describe it. It had
I
like
know what you
two
want.
buttons.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It had like
Monochrome
a,
background, right?
yeah. And it had like the timer and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, look, we were like testing each other to see how fast we could run and everything with our timers and stuff. We just thought that was the stopwatch was just amazing.
Yeah.
But
we did that too. Like how fast did it? Like how fast
yeah,
could you do that? Did it?
yeah. How
Oh
could
yeah,
you hit it?
absolutely.
They are releasing. Actually, we were Lynn and I were in we were shopping this weekend, and I glanced over in the jewelry department and saw the old Casio's watches again. I was like, that's pretty darn cool. So
Yeah.
anyway.
A lot of what's old is new again. There's a lot of that going around right now.
Yeah.
You know, we're wrapping this up, but just glancing at that list, a lot of these old arcade games, I'm looking at point and shoot analog cameras is one of these things. So a lot of the old retro stuff. And I've heard this from a lot of people that they were looking for a lot of these old things. Like Steve, was it you that was talking about this at the estate sale? That they were looking for the old classic cameras, right? Or something.
Yeah, it's all the rage amongst young adults and teenagers. Like they do not want the newest and greatest camera technology. They want the point and shoot cameras that we had.
Interesting.
Early 2000s, late 90s, and the clunky, the low resolution, crappy megapixels on it. They want that stuff. And when we had them in our estate sales, and still when we do our estate sales, they're usually some of the first things to sell. And so this is a cool gift idea for especially if you have young adults in your family.
Yeah, sure. That's really cool. So yeah, what's old is new again, or what's new is old, whatever. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's old is new again. Yeah, that's it. So
you got it right the first time.
Yeah, I thought so, but I just went south when I second guessed myself.
Yeah. So for our listeners, we'll share the link to this website. Again, it's trendhunter.com. And hopefully this review of some Christmas gift ideas for me and Keith, we would love for y'all to get those for us. We accept Christmas gifts from our listeners. For
no shame,
but no shame at all. If any sponsors mentioned in this, or if any or brands mentioned in this episode want to sponsor us, we'd be happy to have them too.
Come on,
take them all.
Why not? Anyway, but hopefully this helps you as you start to plan for your holiday gift buying season. And can't believe we're just around the corner. It's
crazy.
Next thing we're going to do next time we're going to be writing the wrong date on our checks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So.
Here we go.
Next
for those that were
writing checks.
Yeah.
I think I write 2 checks a year or something.
Yeah.
No kidding. So, and for our listeners, what are the cool gifts ideas that you all are coming up with? I'd love to hear other ideas. Sometime I doom scroll at night on some of these websites to try to find the thing that's going to be unique. So what is it that you all are finding this year that might be something that's been asked a lot from your family or friends, or something that you've seen that you just can't wait to surprise somebody with? We'd love to hear it. And I'm going to do this again. So here's what we're going to say now that this is a video. So we have done currently 2 other podcast episodes where I have asked for feedback and giving somebody in return a Yeti cup when we pick our favorite. Let me tell you, we've not had a feedback yet. So now that we're on video, I'm going to throw this out there. For those of you who give us the best Christmas ideas, Noel and Steve and I are going to vote on our favorite one. And the winner is going to get a personalized Gen X Journey Yeti branded Yeti cup. So please participate. I have this thing burning a hole in my closet waiting for somebody to talk to us. Please talk to us, okay?
Please do this for Keith if you do anything at all.
For crying out loud. Let me give this. I'm just trying to give away crap. Just do it, you know?
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Good episode. A lot of good ideas, fellas.
Good. Yeah. Well, why don't you take us home?
Well, thanks everybody for this, for participating or listening to or watching this video or watching or listening to us. It's been a great episode, and hopefully we gave you some good ideas ahead of this Christmas and holiday season. So, guys, I think that's about it. Appreciate it, guys, and take care, everybody. We'll check in next time.
It's hard to believe it, but
care.
happy holidays, everyone.
Yes,
Ooh,
happy holidays.
It is.
Wow. Happy holidays, everybody.
See everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the Gen X Journey podcast belong solely to the hosts and guests and do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of any entity they are associated with. The information provided is for entertainment and informational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to seek the advice of qualified professionals for any specific issues they may face. The creators and contributors of this podcast make no representations as to the accuracy, completeness, or validity of any information, and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its use.